You're going to miss out on your destiny trying to be something that you're not, trying to fit into this box of a soft girl era, or, trying to, be in touch with your emotions. Like, listen, baby, it's going to take every ounce of strength, every ounce of everything in you to really become great and to really create a fulfilling life. And my biggest concern is that when it comes to the world in which we've created today, the social narratives and things like that, you've got a lot of people who want to fit into archetypes rather than actually being themselves. And, to go against the grain and be yourself, I've always found that authenticity has a very interesting way of becoming a trend. Originality has a very interesting way of going viral. But you're going to need it. You're going to need it to create a fulfilling life. I talked about this on my blog, and I talked about how when it comes to women, I seen some women who were online and like they were crying and stuff, saying like how the career didn't bring them fulfillment and how, they wanted kids or whatever, and they were single. First and foremost, let me just say this. These women that I've seen online, they are part of the millennial generation. So these women are a little bit older than us. And I say that to say that these women did not have, the Tabitha Browns of the internet who come on and encourage you to be different. These women were not, born and raised at those, like, not born and raised, but in their critical moments, like those, those pivotal years of like 20s, they didn't have social media, and they didn't have, life coaches. They didn't have prophetic messages. They didn't have, online Bible studies. There was no community to give them the courage to pursue the path less traveled. And so we have to be mindful of that, right? And I'm not here to advocate against having children. Historically, we have to also look at this and look at these messages. White women have, like, on more accounts, been more like wanting to abort their babies. And like get rid of their children and stuff like that. But I'm not here to take away from the fact that a lot of Black women have definitely had a lot of abortions. But I'm not here to talk about abortion. I'm here to talk about career fulfillment and just like fulfillment in life. I don't know why I said career fulfillment. I meant to say I'm here to talk about fulfillment in life. I know what makes me happy. And I knew that if I didn't find what made me happy before I had a baby, before I had a husband, before I had any of those things in my life, it wasn't really going to make much of a difference, right? Because I don't think that things make you happy. Happiness comes from it's an internal thing, right? It is a decision, like psychologically it's a decision, but it comes from within, and it's about figuring out what makes you happy. I'm very blessed because it's not much that takes me, it's not much that makes, it doesn't take much to make me happy. I'm very satisfied with the very little things in life. It's my mornings for me. Okay. It's my mornings. It's my walks in the park. It's my time spent in prayer. It's my time reading my Bible. It's my time in meditation. It's my time listening to some soft beats. It's my time listening to some new music. It's my time reading a book. Like, all these things cost zero to nothing. So it doesn't really take much to make me happy. So I knew that very early on for myself. But when I didn't know what made me happy, when I was still learning what was going to make me happy, I knew that bringing a child into the world was not going to be something that was going to make me happy. So, we have to understand that these women come online and they may have been, their journeys are unique. Everyone has a different story, right? So this may be someone who went to school to be a doctor. The whole time she knew she wanted to be a preschool teacher, right? And that's just an example I'm going to give. And like, when you take that on and you say, oh my gosh, I need to just like get married, find a guy or whatever. This is why we have the rise of like toxic relationships. It's a matter of what you allow, it's a matter of what you decide to deal with. And I will say, like, on the back end of that, I think that, I really empathize with women coming into this space where they're just saying like, I don't want to have to raise a man. But y'all have to understand that, like, you don't really have to put up with anything. And I think the moment that you switch that on in your brain, and not in this toxic, negligent and like, avoidant kind of manner, but more so in this confident and secure manner that says, if I want someone who's secure, if I want someone who is happy within themselves, if I want someone who is healthy and respectful, like, you can have that. And again, like, notice how I'm naming a lot of character traits, So I just think it's one of those things where it's like, you don't have to put up with all the drama. And unfortunately, so many women just don't have the knowledge or the wisdom or the role models or the guidance to say that. So these are the messages that are often pushed to the forefront. But yeah, I really don't think that, I think a child can make you happy. I mean, I don't know, like, I don't have kids, but like, I just think that I knew for myself, if I don't figure out what makes me happy, if I don't figure out the thing that can sustain me, if I don't figure out my purpose and like what it is that drives me, which is writing, which is like everything that I'm doing, there is no way that like a kid is gonna come in and be the solution for all that. Like, this kid needs me now. Like, this kid, I have to give to this child what is within myself. If I'm not happy, this baby is gonna suffer, And so like, I don't know. I just want you guys to kind of realize that. And like, also understand too, like, when you're young, you're really driven by like biology. And so like, the first guy you probably get with, he's probably not gonna be your husband. He probably shouldn't be your husband. But if it works out that way, then that's beautiful. But I also think we have to rid the fantasies, because we're living in a different age now, right? We're living in a time and space in which our men, a lot of younger men, men in their 20s and things like that, and maybe not even 20s. I can't even generalize, but I just want to mention that, the generation of men who were like taking care of women, like for real, like, those men have long gone. Okay. They're gone. And I'm not here to say that like, you can't have that if you want that. But I just think that those men, I don't know. I think when you kind of walk out and you're looking for that, I think it's kind of like I don't know. I think you got to work on yourself a little bit, if that is your forefront. Like, and I'm not here. I don't really want to go too far left because I'm not here to give relationship advice. I'm more so here to just talk about the aspect of fulfillment because I feel it. I feel that sense of peace. Like, are there things that I do want to change? Are there things I'm working to change circumstantially? Absolutely. That will increase my happiness? Absolutely. But the foundation is set. Okay, the foundation is set, and I'm never too far away from my bliss, And so I just wanted to say that, like, adding things to your life just won't really make that difference. And like, the women who say those things, like, I guess another aspect for me too is just like, pursue your dreams, pursue your dreams, and like, do what you love. If you happen to turn a career out of it, fine. If it's just a hobby, fine, but do it anyway, and don't base your decisions solely on like a relationship being the only aspect of your fulfillment. Like, I really think that like healthy relationships can really only come from two whole happy people. Like, if you're grown and you've been in a relationship, girl, you have to really sit with yourself and be real. I got some men on here too, and some non-binaries, be real with yourself. Now, you know that when it comes to relationships, girl, if it didn't work out, if it was a hot mess, fellas, that it was because one of y'all was a hot mess and like, it's toxic, so my thing is real, like, two whole happy, healthy people. Like, that's what's going to really give it. And I think at the end of the day, when I think about my life, I was born an individual. Actually, I was born a twin. So I really can't agree. And like, I really can't like fall in line with y'all when y'all say like, I'm gonna die alone. Like, I was born alone, I'm gonna die alone. That, I don't know. Like, I didn't come into this world alone. It's kind of crazy, right? I just had to throw some jokes in there, lightheartedness. But my point is, sorry, I was looking at something. My point is, at the end of the day, find that sense of fulfillment for yourself. Get sturdy, girl. Get sturdy within yourself. Like, you know what? Sometimes I think that this is what y'all need. I think y'all need a big sis to come up here and maybe bring a little bit of that masculinity, because y'all being a little too soft today. Like, girl, you can still be a girl and like have a backbone. Like, it's okay. You can still be a girl and have a little, come on, girl. It's okay. It's okay to have a backbone. It's okay to have a backbone. I feel like what I'm always seeing is like this like like it's, I don't know, it's like we don't really have a medium. It's like we like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna cuss you out, I'm like rah rah rah, or it's like I'm just dead by the wayside. I don't know. It's like, but it's okay to have a medium, have a constant, stand in the middle. It's okay to have a little backbone, and do you. I don't know. I've never seen a woman not doing what it is that she loves, and like, I don't know. I just think like if a relationship requires you to divorce yourself, that's not the person for you. So you need to keep it pushing. I just told y'all about how relationships and like all that stuff, like it's complicated. It's complex when you get older. Like, baby, you're not going to be a right fit for everybody. You're just not. You just like, girl, look at all the parts of you, And if you're showing up in certain spaces and that person can't accommodate all the parts of you, that doesn't mean you're not enough. That means that this is not your person. This means this is not the person God has ordained for you. And that's okay. That's okay. Okay? I'm about to put y'all on the drill team. I'm going to be the sergeant at this point. We can keep it cute. Listen, girl, the drill team going to be fabulous. That's one thing about it. We're going to be dressed from the nines, okay? The design's going to be custom. But we got to get this. We got to get this. We got to get these emotions. We got to get this in control. Okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting a relationship. There's nothing wrong with wanting marriage. But we got to get these desires. We got to manage it. We got to manage it. We are human beings with a purpose. Okay. We are women who have lives. Okay. We are women who have brains and who have just as much as potential as the next person. Hello. Have you seen the sisters up at NASA? Yeah. But I ain't gonna play with it. Okay, you guys, have a good day. Hope you guys have an amazing day. And encourage your sister. Encourage her to pursue her dreams. Please, will you call her up and tell her to pursue her damn dreams, okay? And tell her that, she needs to pursue the plans in which God has for her, okay? And will you tell her that, pursuing her dreams does not make her a man. She can never be a man. Even if she wanted to be a man, she's not going to be a man. Will you tell her that? Can you let her know that her genetic makeup could never ever possibly make her a man? But she it's psychological. So if she thinks she's a man, I mean, she could possibly, but she's not a man. So if she's afraid of being viewed as masculine, can you let her know that men who hyperfixate on these things probably aren't worth her time? Now I'm just being silly. I don't want to be controversial. I'm done. But just, seriously, encourage your sisters. Sisterhood is important. And I just want you guys to know at the end of the day, like, that fulfillment, it comes from within yourself. And if you can find it on your journey, I think you will have a much better life and a much better pick. And like, honestly, in your 20s, honey, you're so young. I just think we're so young in our 20s. I pray for wisdom. I pray for all those things, but like, I'm so young. There's so much more life to see. And if it happens sooner, that's fine. But like, what's the rush? What Miguel say? What's the rush on forever? Or was that Drake? I'm kidding. I kid. Come on, I kid. But seriously, there's a lot of life for you to see. There's a lot of life for you. And like I said, if it happens soon, then that's great, and that's something to celebrate. That's a very beautiful thing when God brings a marriage together, divinely. It's divinely orchestrated. That's beautiful. I love that. I hope that person creates harmony in your life. But like, don't change who you are to try to fit into something, or to try to fit into societal's, expectations or timelines. Like, pursue your life, create a life that you love, because come on, like you only get one, and that's what you were created here to do. And I just think that, I don't know. I think there's something said about that, codependence or like hyper dependence on another person. That's not good. It's not good because anything can happen. This person could die. This person could, I don't know, and everyone's always, these people switch up. And like, I'm not really here to veer that far left, because I just think, again, like, I don't know. I think one of my affirmations that I didn't always have, and that I have now, is no matter what happens, I'm going to take care of me, and like, we going to be good. and I think you got to have that sense of security within yourself, because you got to look at your life and what you've been through. And if you haven't been through anything, get out there and live life, girl, because life is going to life. You know what I mean? So you're going to get that strength. You're going to get that strength. Yes, you are, girl. But if you are someone who's been sheltered and you're older now, I would definitely suggest, trying some new experiences, living life, and, building that internal sense of, courage and trustworthy, and reliable. I don't want to say reliableness, but, that sense of trustworthiness within yourself, building your self-confidence and building your self-reliance. I graduated at 17. I moved out at 17. I went to go stay on campus. And then, from that point, I was kind of just living my life. I had some roommates, but I was in this state of independence, right? I was living my own life. I had my experiences. Just that's my overall point that I'm making, is I had my experiences. So I thank God I wasn't sheltered to that extent. But the help was there if I needed it. I think that's effective parenting, but I don't want to veer. I don't want to veer too far left. My point is, cultivate this sense of self-reliance within yourself, and you'll realize your mindset changing in regards to relationships and stuff like that. And honestly, I think as a woman, your relationship should be kind of harmonic. They should be more of a some type of beautiful exchange between a man and a woman. It shouldn't always be this strife and fuss and all that drama. But these are the things you learn as you get older. These are the things I've learned as I've gotten older. You know what I mean? And so give yourself time. Give yourself time to become. That's the message. I'm making this podcast episode. Give yourself time to become. Give yourself time to find the fulfillment for you. And I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to delay it. If you're worried about having children, right, biologically, you're going to delay it by pursuing other people's dreams and that, holding on to their opinions about you and, copycat. And you're going to delay what's for you. You're going to delay that fulfillment, which may ultimately be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where you may set yourself up to be at this place in your life where you're not necessarily where you want to be, because you never were true to yourself. I say, hey, you cannot get what's for you acting like somebody else. It's not going to happen, period. And that's a harsh truth, but that's real. I don't care if you out here trying to be this girl or you're out, you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're never going to get what's for you. So you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself and learn to like the things about yourself that society may deem as unattractive, conventionally. Learn to like the things about yourself that you may not like about yourself. I accept some things about myself. For example, there are times in my life where I can be very assertive and very much unapologetic about it. And, sometimes I've said things and I've done things where the room is silent. And I'm like, well, dang, Jalen, did you really have to? But I'm like, okay, oh, well, there are times where I'm not. So, whatever. My point that I'm making is, girl, that radical self-acceptance is going to set you free. And ultimately, it makes you a better partner, for when you are ready for that next step in your life. Because you learn to love yourself. And, people aren't perfect. You're not going to meet a perfect person. You're just not. You know what I mean? So, when you have that within yourself, you can be more understanding and, compassionate towards another. But anyway, the process, the path of becoming, it's a beautiful one. I don't take it for granted. I love it. I love every stage of my life. I'm so grateful to be here today. When I say God will really restore you, honey, my freaking life, when I say everything derailed, girl, when I tell you I was a train off the tracks, honey, I didn't know we was going to be able to get maintenance and get back up on them rail. Girl, I didn't know. And here we are. Okay. All down, smooth sailing, baby. God is faithful. So have that resilience within yourself. Look back at your life and realize you can make it through anything. So what? You have a breakup? What? Okay. And this isn't a matter of fronting or being this strong, you know what I mean? But it's just a matter of I don't know. I think at the end of the day, people who try to hurt you are hurting. And I don't really think nobody gets away with it. So who cares? But set yourself free. Right? Set yourself free in a sense of having that peace of mind, having that peace of mind. ridding certain illusory like suspicions. Set yourself free by changing your mindset about certain things. Of course, be rational, be rational. And, but at the end of the day, I think life going to do what life going to do. And I've learned, like, don't be afraid to live. You're going to make mistakes, but don't be afraid to live. And, at the end of the day, man, I remember, I'm going to end with this. I remember there was a moment in my life, I had a situation where I didn't think that this person would betray me or cross me or whatever. And I remember, like, I sat there and I just was like, girl, I don't even think I was bothered. Girl, I was just so done with it. I was just so done with it. I felt like the person was just so beneath me, like, and not like in this, like this person's beneath me, but more so just like their actions, it's that when others go low, we go high, and like in that moment, I was just so sturdy with it. Like, I was just so sturdy with it. Like, I was so unfazed, I was just done with it. Like, it just was like, okay, because I in that moment, it's just like, okay, this is the reality. This is the situation. What are you going to do? So, yeah. Have self-love, have self-love, have self-reliance. But okay, you guys, that's the end of this podcast episode. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And this was kind of cute. Like, this was kind of like real talk for my girls, but like, I love you guys. And, it's going to be okay. God will put you back together. Like, definitely keep God close, man. Keep God close. And God literally tells us, like, don't put your confidence in man. Don't put your confidence in other things of the world. Like, but put your faith in God. And he'll never fail you, man. God is that one constant. Like, God is the one thing that's never going to change. And God will always be by your side. I think about those darkest moments in my life. I took it out on friends at the time, but like, God was showing me, like, you don't need nobody but me. And like, obviously I'm not advocating for a mentality of like, you don't need nobody. No, relationships are beautiful. Friendships are beautiful, but, it's real, put your faith in God, because God got you. So what's there to be, fixated on those things? Again, meditate on the positive things, meditate on the good things, those things that are pure, those things that are holy. Okay, it's Philippians. I love you guys. Have a great day.